everyone from Just Say. I'm your host, Jessica Costa, and today I'm here with the one, the only, La Brasilera, Gabby V Music.
Hi.
How are you, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling really good now that I have you here. How are you liking Miami? How does it feel?
Oh, I love it. I mean, the weather is great, besides the humidity, but
Right,
the
yes.
weather is usually really great because there's no winter.
Very true.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, I know you come from Brazil, so I want to know, like, how has that culture, like, influenced your music? Like, what made you think of, like, okay, I'm going to be an artist and I'm going to, adapt my cultures into, my artistic process?
Yeah. So, usually, like, I know a lot of people when they live somewhere and they're raised there, they usually get so annoyed of that place and they want to live somewhere else. That's always happened. But to me, I was born in Brazil. I was raised in France. So I wasn't even raised in Brazil. I was raised in France.
Okay.
But all my families were Brazilian. We were all born there. So, like, being in France, I still had the Brazilian culture, like rice and beans every day, had pão de queijo and all of those things that you usually do because, your parents are from there.
Right.
So, like, I grew up with both my parents being entertainers. My mom was a samba dancer and my dad was a capoeirista. Capoeirista is a Brazilian martial arts.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool.
So they both like are very, the Brazilian culture. And growing up with watching them but still being in a different country made me always in love with, where I come from. And I never want to forget about it because it's just important to me. That was my first language. So in my music, I like to have things from that. Like in samba, we like to wear rhinestone bras. So I ended up making it, and my mom also helps me create it. She creates a lot of my bras too. So a lot of my outfits are like that. And then the music, the elements of the batucada, and percussion. And just different elements that growing up, that's what I used to listen to. Funk was a big part of it. Cause funk was like my favorite genre. Like the first ever music I ever fell in love with was funk. I was like 1 year old.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so cute.
Yeah. So I knew that cause of my mom. So so it's really important to me. Always, I've lived in a lot of places. Now I live in the United States, but I also lived in Canada. So it's like always jumping around when I always want to just keep the original where I came from with me, even though I'm in so many different places.
And I love that because in a way, like, you're kind of like me in that sense where it's like, yeah, I was raised Colombian, and those traditions that like we have as kids that we were taught, like I'll definitely 100% pass it on to my kids. Like, I think that's such a amazing thing to show off your culture to your family, to those who you know. And that's so interesting. And I also want to note that you said about the Brazilian bras. I was looking over your page. I was doing my little research and it gave me like Selena vibes, like, how Selena would always do like the little cute glimmery tops. I thought it was so cute.
I've gotten that. I've gotten like fans say like, oh my God, you remind me of Selena. And I'm like, oh, that's nice because I really liked her. When I like found out about her like online and everything, I was like, wow, she's really talented. It's really sad what happened to her, but she's definitely one of my favorite Latin artists, like icon.
Oh, she's an icon, 100%.
For sure.
So tell me, I know you were saying that you lived in France. So how was that transition coming from France to the US?
Oh my gosh. It was extreme. But when I lived in France, I was obsessed with Americans and America for some reason. I mean, when we live outside of the United States, a lot of us are like that. In Brazil also, like a lot of people are just obsessed. But when we got a computer, I would always like look at like videos, and my mom would tell me about United States and how, things about there, and all the movies we would watch was from the United States. I'm like, oh my God,
stop. Like, that's me with Europe. I'm like, oh my gosh, you see these videos?
Oh, me living in France, like I said, everybody, when they grow up somewhere, they want to leave. I was like that at the time.
Really?
Oh, I was like, oh my God, I want the American dream. I want to ride in the yellow school bus. Like, that was me before.
I love that though.
But the transition was definitely huge. I mean, when I
Really?
came to America, I was like, wow, everything's so colorful. The people are so like, like they speak like, I used to copy Americans all
Really?
the time before I knew the language. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All the time. I was just
Wait, that's
obsessed.
actually so funny though. I love that. I really love that. But I know you also speak like different languages. You also speak, you know, Portuguese, French, speak Spanish a bit, right?
Yeah, I'm learning.
I love that. You got it, girl. You know it. You got it. But I want to know, like, when it comes to creating music, how do you know which language to like, you know, write in or like sing it?
Yeah, I don't honestly. When we're creating, we just it's just what feels natural, what feels good at the time, what we're, you know, if the beat is a certain way, like, you know, what makes sense like with the vibe, and then that's when we create with that language. A lot of times I like to mix it up, because I feel like the world is important, you know, like I've been around so many different cultures, even Russian, Ukrainians. I've been around so many different
you've been around the world, girl.
like, yeah. So like for me it's so important, like I'm a cultural artist, and I feel like it's important to just appreciate different cultures, and we all bring all of us together. You know, I feel like music is what brings us together.
100%.
And yeah, doing different languages is definitely like a plus to me, but I never know like when until like I'm writing and I'm like, okay, this just came out in my brain.
Okay, and now that you're saying that, you know, you like to incorporate different, you know, cultures and languages, I know you did a song with Vikina, and it was called Leche. So how was that like? How did you know? Like, because I know she speaks Spanish, she speaks Portuguese and all. So how was like? How did you know? It was like, okay, I want her on here, and we're gonna do a clash of these two languages. Like,
and that was the first time I did like a real Latin song.
Really
funny.
Oh,
but
okay,
like
that's cool.
The idea wasn't there yet. It was like we started off with the beat, and then actually my producer Joe, he showed us a lot of beats, and that one was the one that we both liked. We were at one of the studios here in 305, the Pitbull studio.
Oh, okay, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
So when we were in there, we both liked this one beat, and then I was like in the back of the studio, and Vakina was there, and we were all like thinking, we were like, what are we gonna write about? It was kind of that vibe. And then in my head, I'm like, damn, I really want a song about boobs. Why? Because on my TikToks, I'm a belly dancer. Also, I became one from accident, but I love dancing with my body, and I also do a lot of this, and a lot of people like say, oh, like even girls like are like, well, how do you do that with your chest and everything? And I'm like, dang, we always have butt songs.
That's very true.
We have a lot of butt songs, but what about boobs? Like I searched it up, and it's all these older men, like in the country space, writing about girls' boobs, and I'm like, where is the song? Like the only song I could say is "Milkshake," which is kind of, you know, but it's like.
But I think like that's the only song like the whole world knows that might know about.
Yeah. So I yell out, I'm like, I want a song about boobs, and then Vakina came with that part. Oh, she stood up and she's like, la leche, la leche. And then we're all like, oh, that's genius. Like, that's perfect.
So that's how it came to be.
That's how it came to be. That ridiculous thing just came to be. And then it's like, oh, you know, we love like, in Portuguese we call chiclete, like gum type of songs, which is songs that are very repetitive, because those like really, you know, like those are really like fun songs that people get to, you know, just do a simple dance to. But yeah, so then I'm like, that's genius, because girls have what, milk when they get pregnant and they have a baby, and cows have milk. I don't know. It was just genius.
I see where you're going there, and the idea, the concept is there. So I see what you're saying.
So yeah, the idea came from Vakina, but then when I put it together in my head, I was like, that's perfect.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah. So then, like, when we wrote the rest of the song, I did my verse in Portuguese, because obviously I couldn't write in Spanish at the time, and Vakina did her part in Spanish, and then Joe mixed up and helped us with the English part, and we made it a 3-language song. and it
That's so
just
cool.
came to be, and it like is like one of my biggest songs, honestly.
It's a cultural song. We
Yeah.
love it.
Yes.
And so I know you're saying that you do belly dancing. So when it comes to your songs, have you ever tried to do like those trends, like those TikTok trends, to make like dances to your own songs, or how have you done that?
I have. Yeah, I try to do that because, you know, there's people that want to simple dance and everything. So I create like different versions of choreos, but I definitely did that. I do that to some of my, I just did it to my recent song, AMG, which is a fun little dance, you know, like about the car or whatever. Not really, but, but yeah, I like doing those. I think it's important. TikTok is important. Like, people don't realize that, but it is important because it's a platform that a lot of undiscovered artists gets discovered.
100%.
Doja Cat got discovered on there, and a lot of other artists.
So, what has been the craziest like experience you've had while performing?
The craziest experience while performing?
Yes.
There's a lot. No, there's definitely a lot. I mean, crazy. More like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do for a split second?
Okay, tell me.
My first performance ever was, which is kind of crazy because most people's first performance aren't even in this like big stage, but I was on a big stage. I was doing a Brazilian festival here in Fort Lauderdale area. And it was huge. I mean, like, I was opening up for a huge Brazilian artist, Isa, and I was like, okay, I have like 4 dancers with me. We're gonna kill it. We've been practicing for so long. We're up there. We're about to kill it. There's so many people, and it was like one of the biggest stage that I mean, that was the first stage I've been in, but you know, after that, it's been like smaller stages. So like, when I was like up there, we were doing our thing, and the song just stopped.
No,
the track just stopped. But I do sing live.
Okay.
So I continued singing.
Girl, you did it. You know, that reminds me of the Mean Girls scene when they're doing like the little talent show and the music stuff. You got it going.
Yeah,
that's the important thing.
And I remember that because my parents, being entertainers, always told me when something happens, you just have to continue. You keep going. You don't stop. You just continue. So that's what I did. And I was actually hoping, the only thing I was hoping for, it was the song not start like,
starting over or like
I'm like, okay, I better just pause and let me just finish this song and then continue on to the next, which happened like that because I had my choreographer in the back with the sound guy just like pick it up after the next song, and I was like, oh, thank gosh. But I just continued it. I was like, you know, if we stop, the dancers had to keep dancing, everything. Like, imagine I would have been.
But that's good that you have that instinct in you, because sometimes if you're in the moment and you don't know what to do and then it just freezes, it's like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah, so that was like the most scariest, like, oh my god. But it was like such a fast reaction. I didn't even flinch. I just continued singing.
So smart of you.
If I was lip syncing, yeah, that would be really bad. But
that would have been different. But you don't. You're a live girl. You sang it.
No, I like
and we love that. Now, I know you also recently dropped a song that's called Sorry No Confio. So I just want to know what inspired that song and where did it come from?
So that was like my first all Spanish song. So it was really like, I wanted to, since Leche, I got so much good feedback, so much positive like reaction. I mean, that the song even went to like Europe and Asia, which they don't even speak that language.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of countries there. So it's like, what? Like, that song did really good. And then I live in Miami. So I was like, it would be great for me to dip my toes in more Latin flair.
Yes.
Since I'm Brazilian, I'm Latin, but I'm not that type of Latin, but I could do songs like
You're
that.
still Latina. You're
yeah, exactly. So I was like, this makes sense. So that's where Si No Sabias came from, and we started that. I had an awesome writer come with me. His name's Henio. I actually have a song with him now, but he's an awesome writer. And when I'm in the studio with him, I don't like for the person to just write me a song. I like to be a part of it. Like, since it's in a different language that I'm still learning, you know, I need help, but I would love my input for him to write the song. So yeah, so the song, you know, is about like, me not trusting this guy. And I just don't don't want him anymore because he's trash.
Period queen.
So yeah, when I did that song, oh my gosh, like I didn't realize like the Spanish people were gonna think my Spanish was really good, because honestly it wasn't like, great.
Right.
But with the help of Hinu, I really think I was able to just nail the recording of the song.
You did.
Yeah, but I love it. I love it.
And like, would you say like when it comes to writing like, that song or any song in general, like do you put your personal like experiences or any stories that you have gone through into it?
Yes, for sure. I like to mix it up, like there's songs that, yes, it's very personal, but I still try to make it worldwide, where most
like relatable
majority of people, yes,
okay,
majority of people can relate to. And there's other ones that I haven't personally, but my friend has.
Okay.
And I wanted to still talk about it because I feel like a lot of girls gone through it, So there's songs like that, because I still, fans, you have to like balance between what you love and what they love from you. Because if you don't have that balance, like the connection is like gone. Like if you just do what you want all the time. So so I always have that balance.
Okay.
But yeah, I have experience of my own and of like people around.
And would you say with Sorry No Confio, like, did it take you a while to write, or you in the moment were like, no, I know exactly what I'm writing?
Definitely not in the moment, because it was such a different vibe. Like, Sino Sabias was a different. Sorry No Confio was oh, that was a different one. Actually, I always get the two mixed up with the names, but yeah, actually, the Sorry No Confio was way after. That one's in Spanish and Portuguese. But I knew exactly what I wanted to write for that one.
Okay.
It was, all about the guy being like a player, and I'm not trusting his word, which I have gone through. I feel like all of us girls have gone through that situation where you like this guy, but you know that he's a player and he's gonna cheat on you if you start anything, and he's just trash, but you like him. So that's what Sorry No Confio is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about Sorry No Confio, would it be okay if we have a little singing sesh?
Sure.
You'll be down with it? Well, perfect, because I have a karaoke night for you. Let's turn it on.
Se eu te falo que eu gosto de você, morto vai sair com todas e sou eu que vou sofrer. Não me faz de boba, acha que eu sou tola. Esse tipo de malandro que já não me engana, não vem com essa mentira. Eu quero respeito, ficar com sentimento desse jeito eu não aceito. Quando eu vejo você com outra pessoa, cê não liga que machuca, me magoa. É que não tenho temor, é que não tenho amor, te entiendo, pero te quiero dar más. Oh my gosh, what's the Spanish part now? I forgot everything.
No, you slayed that. You did so good. I'm so proud.
Thank you.
Here you go. I'll put it here. But so I love that. That was fabulous. That was amazing. So since you've already written so many songs, what does your like rituals or traditions like when it comes to writing? Do you have a specific thing that you do before writing, or like how does that work?
Rituals. Yeah, there's some artists that are so funny. Some artists like to sing like barefoot or like half naked. I just remember that. But me, I definitely like to go to the studio very comfortable, like sweater on and sweatpants. I don't think no one likes to go all fancy to the studio.
Why? Go
hours of work. So I like to be comfy, sit crisscross applesauce on the sofa. And then after listening to a lot of beats, you pick I just pick the one that I want to work on at the time. I'm like, okay, this one's nice. Or sometimes Joe, he actually makes the beat while I'm there, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, that's cool, that goes cool with this, and I give my own input to the actual beat, which is always cool. But yeah, it's super fun because like, especially when you're so in charge of what you're writing and stuff like that. After you listen to the beat, then like I like to like write about like, I don't know, like if I think about, oh, the song is super dancey, let me write something maybe a little flirty, maybe like, it all depends where you want to go with it, but usually a lot of my songs are fun to dance. So
I've noticed.
I like to like talk about, different things that goes on in a club or at a party, or you're with your girlfriends, or you're with this guy. Like, it's always depends where you're at, but it's always kind of leading to the same thing, which is dancing, or like, the other side, the more adulty side. But like, I always like in my brain, I always lead to Portuguese, when I write, cause like, that's
It's
like
your
my
natural
strongest
thing, yeah.
brain. But I'm still like, I write in English and stuff like that. I definitely like still am working on making my own English lyrics more cooler, because I do feel like, since growing up in France and watching American TV, like I used to watch Disney Channel. That's how I learned English.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. What shows would you watch?
Hannah Montana. That was my favorite. So when I learned English, I had a little bit of a Tennessee accent. Yeah.
I meant that you would mimic the little.
And then I met some more people, and they're like, "Stop talking like that. Don't speak English."
That's so cute, though. But you see, like, TV does help, I guess, in a way.
Does.
It does.
Oh my god, it helped me more than school. Like,
there you have it. Watch Hannah Montana. So now that you've come so far in your career, and you've collaborated with so many artists like Vikina. So what is like the key to like collaborating with another artist, like, or that partnership? Like, what is it that you need between each other?
Well, you definitely need to have some type of connection with the song. Like, like if I'm a pop Latin artist, would it actually make sense to sing with a country artist who just does like American country?
Right.
Maybe, probably not.
Exactly,
probably not. Maybe you guys can do a fusion type of thing one day, but usually it's not the right thing. So like, I'm in the Latin Brazilian lane, so the artist that I look for is like who's in the same lane as me, because then I feel like we help each other. We still have different fan base, but we still would help each other.
Right.
And then when I like an artist, like I have to like their vibe. Obviously, I feel like we all do have to.
Exactly. Yeah.
But actually, I have a collaboration coming with Brai. So that's gonna be really fun, and obviously you never know what to expect when you meet an artist. You always want them to be very nice, very cool, or what they're gonna write on their part to the feature or the collaboration. But it usually ends up being cool, if they're, if you already know what their sound is like. But yeah, once you meet with them for a music video, you're just hoping that everything goes smoothly and you guys bond together.
Okay, cool.
Which me and Brian ended up really bonding, so I'm really excited about this.
So what can you tell us about that little project coming up?
Well, it's gonna be a funk genre. Funk genre, but a Latin, like, it's gonna be Latin but funk.
Okay, your roots, girl. I know you love funk.
Yes, I love it. So the beat's gonna be funk, but the lyrics are gonna be more towards the Latin side.
Okay.
So like Spanish.
Okay.
And then when I say Latin, it's funny because we're also Latin, but I usually mean like the Spanish world.
Yeah.
But then I have a small part that I do in Portuguese to mix it up. But like the song is gonna be like Latin funk. Okay. Very different.
And would you say it's easier to sing in Spanish or speak in Spanish? How does that?
Sing. For sure. Or read. Honestly, when I read Spanish, it's so much easier than having to speak and think, because, every language you learn, you kind of think about it and you're like, okay, if I translate this, okay, house, casa. And you're just like trying to translate everything, and then you speak it out, and sometimes it just doesn't come out the way you think it's going to. It's a mess. But definitely singing is the most easiest way. I mean, to me, I in English, sometimes I struggle to talk. Like, there's times that you would think I'm like foreign, like.
Well, you're talking so good right now. Like, it's like you're so fluent.
I know.
I love it.
It's
like Hannah Montana.
Yeah, but there's times I perform in front of like an American crowd, and for some reason I'm just so in that mind space of another language that I just become so fluent, and I say everything backwards.
Really?
And then I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think that I'm so like not from here.
No, but it's okay. I feel like you can adapt yourself to like these languages easily, which is good.
The good part is everyone's like learning more about like different cultures and vibes, and we're in Miami, so no one can
how Miami
judge anything.
we're cultural.
Exactly.
So being that you like to incorporate your roots into your music, do you try to like bring in some Brazilian like samba in there, or how does that work? Like when you like, how do you bring Brazilian into your music? What do you?
So I like to start off with the bass as pop. Like I love pop music or urban-y, like urban. That's what it's called. Yeah. So the bass is like American. I don't even know how to explain it. But then you add fusions of things to the beat. So like you start with the bass, you have this melody, you have a let's say like a hip hop beat or whatever. And then you just start adding maybe like the
I hear the song, but I hear it.
And then you hear the and then that's where
it all comes together.
Yeah, it all comes together. I haven't tried doing samba in the pop thing yet, but I'm going to. I just have to.
Did I just guess that she's gonna do samba?
But yeah, so I always want it to be like the base of pop or urban pop.
Okay,
so
I see what you mean.
Two.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not cool enough for super urban or hip hop, but a mixture of it.
Wherever you feel comfortable is what's important. Yeah. I also know that you have an EP coming out soon. It's called XOXO. Yes. What can we expect there? And can you describe that in 3 words?
Well, it's gonna be Latin.
Latin.
With the flair of me. Well, with me, it's gonna be with me anyways. It's Latin-y, but with like a twist of sometimes having it, more Brazilian-y, but still Latin-y.
Okay.
That makes sense.
It does. Don't worry. We got it.
I'm so great at explaining.
No,
it's a Latin EP.
Okay.
But with a mixture of me not being Latin, but still going into that.
No, but at the end of the day, you're still Latin. You're still part of Latin America, so she is Latin.
Yeah, I am. Yes.
I love that. But I know also earlier this year you sang the national anthem at here in Miami for the Miami Heat at the Castilla Center. And you're actually going to be singing the national anthem again, but in Chicago for the Chicago Bulls.
It's going to be my second time in Chicago Bulls.
How is that? Like, how do you feel? How do you prepare for that? Because I know sometimes singing the national anthem is scary.
Oh my gosh. I'm like a wreck. Like,
really?
Like before that, yeah, because it's not the same thing as singing your own song.
Right.
It's very like, you're thinking like,
it's like a serious moment.
If you mess up the lyrics, this might blow up on YouTube. And you're gonna be hated forever and compared to like, one of the worst videos if you sing bad. But if you mess up, we've seen it. We've seen things viral
videos
about the American national anthem. And I always get scared that I'm gonna forget the lyrics.
How do you how many days before, or a week or months before do you like prepare for that?
Oh yeah, when I'm taking a shower, I start singing the national anthem. When I'm doing anything, I'm like,
you're just passing by the bathroom and all you hear is the national anthem.
2 hours before the actual thing happens, I'm in my head. I don't want anybody to talk to me or ask me any questions about anything. I just want to be like, see. And I'm like memorizing just the lyrics, because the singing is the easy part. The lyrics is the one where I'm just
like, oh my gosh, that must be so nerve-wracking. But I know you got it. You did it in Miami. You can do it again, girl. You got it.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yes, that's exciting. I can't wait to see the videos. And I know you're not gonna be on YouTube going viral. You're gonna be going viral because you sang amazing.
Yeah, hopefully.
So what has been the sweetest or most like heartwarming or like a memorable interaction you've had with a fan that like just sticks to you?
There's been like a few of them. I've had some fans that, well, like not in person, but they've done things that I was like, oh my gosh, like wow, that's so sweet. Like I know 2 of my fans, I believe, they tattooed my catchphrase "Kissies" on their wrist.
Oh, wait, that's
just because of like, because they love what I do and they love me, and I'm like, oh my god, that is so sweet. And they create fan pages, and they always like post and always send me messages and everything and support to the most, which I'm like, this is like what I love about doing my job is people like that. And also people, when people do come out and see me and they come up to me and they say that they've been following me for years and that I help them through their hard times, like those are amazing moments for me. Sometimes I've had fans bring flowers or gifts to my show.
That's so sweet. I think I'd cry. I just sob with them.
Honestly, it's the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And then there's the other side where there's some that are more stockish type of fans that is like, oh my gosh, I hope this is not a Selena moment, but other than that, like, I love those that like show so much love, and that I know that there's people out there that my videos give them the support to continue on and to do what they want to do in life, and that I inspire people. Like, that's really nice. That's really
so
cool.
sweet. And speaking of like being like that person that people look up to when it comes to hard times, I know you've been open before in the past about having gone through bullying. And I know you released a book and all about it. So I just want to know, like, how was that process for you? And was there ever that someone like that was inspiring to you that helped you through that?
Yeah.
Really? Just like you are.
It's funny. I'm starting laughing because you're gonna probably laugh. So I've gone through so many different types of bullying, because there's not just one. There's many types of bullying that there is, and in different countries too. But what kept me going, because I've gone through like a situation where I was so depressed that I actually like wanted to go away.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
It's really sad. But what kept me going is I collect Barbies. I have 300 Barbies in my room. Yeah, my main room. I have so many different rooms, but I've been collecting Barbies since I was really young. It's been my like, person, like, cause it's like, it's not just a Barbie. It's like the messaging behind the Barbie. Be who you want to be, and reach for the stars. Like, they so always cute, say things like that, and I stick to my head like with that. The movies, the Barbie movies always make me cry and always make me feel like, man, I can be who I want to be, and
you can be whatever you want to be. Yeah. And I'm assuming then, like, with the movie that came out last year, like, it really impacted you then?
I was actually scared, because when you're really a fan of something for so many years and no one, like, so excuse my language, but no one out, and then suddenly they're making this movie and now everybody wants to hop on the train.
Right.
I was scared that it was gonna not be an accurate movie.
Or live up to the hype. Yeah.
Live up to, what you love. So I was scared at first, but once I saw the movie, I was like, this was great.
Sobbed.
It was great. I cried too.
The little girlhood montage that they gave.
Yeah. And even the information in the storyline, like what people think it is and what it really represents, is just give me chills. And I was like, I'm so glad that this movie was made like this, because I didn't want to be angry, because I was already angry. I was not angry, but I was already concerned before it came out. But it's a great movie. I loved it.
That's so sweet. So basically Barbie was your inspiration.
Yes. Yeah, when I was literally like at my lowest point and so many things were going on, Barbie was the one that like kept me like alive.
I love that. So you have like all different types of Barbies then, I'm assuming, right? Because I know there's there's a doctor, there's a lawyer, there's a president, there's like so many of them.
Yeah, even cultural, like, I have almost every culture Barbie: Chinese, Japanese,
wait, that's
Brazilian.
Adorable.
I believe I have a Mexican Barbie. I might have a Colombian Barbie. I have to look, but I have
you have to send me a picture of that. That's so cute.
I have Barbies from everywhere: Africa, Congo, and French Barbie. I have I just love collecting them because they've always made me feel, even though it sounds so silly, there's always that one thing that makes you feel so
Of course,
happy.
100%.
And it's just behind the story of it and how connected I felt. Because I'm an only child, so I never grew up with someone my own age. It's always been my parents and my parents' friends, because I was always struggled with friends. They would either backstab me, or it wouldn't be the greatest, or we would move and I would have to start all over again, and people would be mean to me. And when I came to America, they were kind of mean. And
But look at her now.
yeah,
look at her now.
Accent. They would be like, oh, like you speak funny, you sound kind of French but Portuguese, but you look Mexican, and you look like Dora, and just very
people say that to you?
Yeah.
No.
Or jump the borders or things like that. Like,
oh my god, people are so mean.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that you stood your ground and you kept your head up high, and that Barbie was there for you, because that's amazing that you could inspire like your fans, and that's what you're doing. So you put on that brave face and you show them like no matter what, you keep on going, which is a beautiful message, honestly.
Yeah, thank you.
I love that. Congrats to you, because I applaud you for that, because that's amazing. And I know coming up we are in the spooky season, and you have a performance coming up soon on Halloween, right? Is that right? And I know you love to dress up. I know I've seen you in your little Halloween videos. I'm like, yes, I love the spooky season. So what can we expect that day in that performance, and can we expect a costume?
Yeah, for sure. I honestly, when I perform, I also have to like balance in between like, being the costume, but also being comfortable, because some costumes are so not comfortable. But like as long as I can dance in it and everything, it'll be great. But yeah, I'm planning to have 2 female dancers with me this time. And we're gonna do like a kind of like a funk Halloween thing, because
I love that.
It's gonna be like very very spooky, but also very sensual. And I know the manor usually loves like sensual stuff, and I love doing those type of performances, especially with girls. It's so empowering.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of like a bloody vampire.
Ooh, okay.
Girls, hot.
You love that. And has there ever been like a specific costume that you're like, oh my gosh, this was my best costume ever?
Oh my god, I've done so many costumes, but people really, really, I went viral for this one cosplay, like for, I don't even know, like I've done so many cosplay with this one cosplay that is just always the one that people loves, and it's Princess Jasmine.
Oh my gosh, wait, I could see it. I could see you as Princess Jasmine.
Yeah, especially before I've, gone green, but.
No, but like you still rock it. Even like the colors you're wearing now, it's giving Princess Jasmine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so people always love that costume. I love Princess Jasmine. I mean, it's definitely, one of the sexier princesses. I love princesses that like are half naked, honestly. It's just my liking. Like I just, I used to look up to Britney Spears, like my first concert in France was Britney Spears. So
that's so cool. In France.
Yeah.
Who can say that? That's amazing.
Yeah, 2004.
I love that. So now I want to do a little game with you. I have a couple of questions here. Yes. I have a couple of questions, and you're going to pick them out. Okay. And you can just answer them.
Oh, okay, cool. It's not like those polling things. What are they called?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Because I can't focus. Okay.
You can read it out loud, and then you figure it.
Who has been your biggest musical influence, and what have you learned from them? Well, I've literally kind of just mentioned a little bit. I mean, there's different artists from different countries, but yeah, one of the biggest ones that I used to obsessed with is Britney Spears, especially because my mom also obsessed with her.
I love that.
Yeah, my mom was like my best friend. So Britney Spears was definitely like someone I looked up to, especially because she just looked so like nice on stage. She performed, like she gave a show. She didn't just sing.
She didn't sing. She doesn't just sing, or does she perform?
Yeah, she performed. Yes. And in my personal liking, I love watching a show. I love watching performance. So I always thought her outfits just rocked, her body, the way she smiled at the crowd, the way she looked at the crowd, and she made them feel like
the little pauses
we
and
want to dance with you, instead of being like maybe like when they're usually like with the serious face and you kind of can't approach them, and they're. So I like more of like when you smile and you're just like giving a show.
Yes,
Really.
I see. Like something like Michael Jackson would do, like
Yes.
the little
Oh, I love
pauses and
Michael
the look at the
Jackson.
crowds and like all this stuff.
Yes,
Yes, I
Michael
see.
Jackson, Janet Jackson. I loved all of those performers. Now I want to name like the like in other artists like the
Go ahead, girl.
culture. So in the Brazilian side, I love polka, and for
Okay.
those who don't know, polka, she's a funk pop artist. She's same color as me, brown. She goes by polka because I guess people compare her to Pocahontas. She really does look like Pocahontas.
Oh, wait, that's
But
such a cute
yeah,
name. That's
yeah.
so cute.
So polka, yeah. So I mean, I really love her songs. I just wanted to mention that, and she really inspires me with what I'm doing right now. Mixing up like all the flares and stuff. In the Latin side, man, there's like a lot of great artists, for sure. I will say, I know this is probably gonna be very, okay, there's two of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna name, my first one is Amelia.
Okay.
I really like Amelia. She has, her thing is like stars and stuff, but I really like her outfits. It's really
It's
nice.
so cute. It's giving like Y2K. That's what I get from her.
Yeah, like early on 2000s, like I get that too. I honestly, the way I was introduced to her was from a Brazilian artist, Ludmilla. She collabed with her, and they made this record, No Se Ve, which is a funk Latin record, and I was like, that is so cool. I want to do that.
And you're going to.
I was like, that is so cool, and I love the way she just like brought both cultures together and respected it, and was like so like involved, and it made me really really love her and her other songs too. She's one. Carol G also is another one. I know usually if I say Carol G, people are like, oh, it's obvious. Like the biggest, but she's amazing. I have to say, have you seen that performance where she was like all wet? And like the floor was like wet, and like she had a bunch of dancers. If you haven't, you have to.
What performance was this for? Was it for Tekuhe or which one was it?
I have no idea.
Okay, but it's like, but I know what you're talking about because she has a few. But I've seen her in concert, and she's amazing. Like a performer,
and she seems so sweet. Like the way she talks to the audience, she just seems like a sweet person. And she's collaborated with a few Brazilian artists too.
She has,
so it's really nice. But yeah, those are some of my artists. I mean, I can name French, but it's okay. We can skip.
If you want. But yeah, next question. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, you can put it here. Let's see what else we got. Those are good. Those are good choices. I like those options.
If you could perform anywhere in the world, where would it be and why?
Somewhere you haven't.
Oh my gosh, there's so many places.
I feel like you've been everywhere.
Answer. I've been everywhere, but I haven't performed everywhere. But I mean, I've always wanted to go to Australia. I never thought about like performing there, but I've always wanted to go there because of the kangaroos.
Oh,
you know how they fight?
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to like one of those specific special events where they put,
I don't know. Fight?
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I don't know. It just seems like.
What if you perform at one of those events? Would that be like a dream come true?
That would be a really nice dream. Well, to meet a kangaroo would probably be like.
No, that would be so fun. I don't think I've ever seen a kangaroo in person. So that'd be cool.
I've seen so many videos of them. And
they're so cute.
So good. But I don't know, performing. I mean, I want to perform on a huge stage where I can have like 10 dancers and put on the biggest show with a big budget. That's my
like
dream.
an MSG type of show, like Madison Square Garden. That'd be so cool.
Big show where I can fly.
I could say like a Britney Spears just going down from the sky.
Like rotate.
I love that. Wait, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen one day. We will get there.
Let's hope.
Yes. All right. Next question.
Okay. What's the best piece of advice you've sometimes I'm dyslexic.
It's okay.
Received from another artist? What's the best piece of advice received from another artist? Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, you got it.
Yes, I have ADHD too, so I'm just always
Take your time.
when I read, I have to reread and be like, okay, this is what I said.
It's okay. Take your time. No worries.
Well, I met this artist. She was from this show called Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she gave me a really nice advice that I was like, oh, that's like good to tell a lot of people. Is to like, even though maybe sometimes you could come off as a bitch, when you're like working with other people, and when you're like working on a specific project, always like be sure to how did she say it? She said it in such a good way. I hope I don't say it wrong. Just be sure to like if someone's like being rude to you or something like that, and just wants to like do what they want to do in your project, just be sure to, as like a woman, like, you know, be able to stand your ground and say like what you want because it's your project kind of thing. And like to not always like kind of like when like I thought was take you so long.
No, it's take your time.
When like a person like tells you like, oh, this is how it should be done, but you know your vision, and then they try to like just keep pushing to like be like, no, it has to be like this, and you're like, but I want it like this. Like even if like you're the nicest person, I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but like just always like have what you stand for, like like be where you stand for. If you understood that, that's great, but I feel like I could barely explain that myself.
No, but you did good. I get what you're saying, and I think that's cool. Like I feel like whenever you get advice from somebody, always take that with you and apply it to your career or life or anything.
It's more like, okay, at the end of the story, it's more like independent woman, like, you know, stand your ground. You know, you be respectful, obviously, but stand your ground. And if you know you want something, you know, like if that's your project, other people around you should respect that, should put their opinion, but they don't have to like try to, you know, do this to your, you know,
like try to bring you down in a way.
Because sometimes I tend to do that. I'm so nice that sometimes I just let something go and let other people like do things for me, because I don't want to sound like mean. But then I let it go, and then I'm disappointed afterwards. You know, with like a music video, for example, I get like if like, you know, the person is not like getting through it, and I'm just like, well, like I see it this way and I really want it this way, and they just don't do it. I just let it go sometimes.
Okay. I see where you're going there. I see
it. Yeah, it took longer to explain, but that's what I mean.
No, I get you. But like, I guess now that so much has happened, you've come so far, what can we expect from Gabby B in the future and upcoming?
A lot of things, like the EP that I'm coming out with, Latin EP, and I'm working with another project already. So like besides this, there's another project. And just performances, maybe outside the country.
Oh, that's so fun.
And the Manor performance, which I'm really excited about, and some more performances.
We're excited. We can't wait, Gabby. And where can the audience go find you on socials?
So you guys can find me on Instagram and TikTok at GabbyB_music, GABBYB_music. And I have a website, GabbyBmusic.com.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Gabby, it was a pleasure and an honor to finally meet you.
Yeah, you're so nice.
You're so nice.
It's so great.
I'm glad. I feel like we had like a little girl talk, which is much needed sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
I'm glad. We got to comfort each other, support one another, and thank you again. And I wish you the best in your career. And if you want to send any messages to the people from my channel, from Just Say It, you're more than welcome to.
Well, be you, do you, and we're out. Kissy.